Are we on now? Yes, we're on. Yes, we're on, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic Saturday, great Saturday here on the Primera Liga game preview, massive game preview with the boys from Long Ball Football and from Mr. Benfica, Mike D'Agostino, Albert. Welcome to this game preview for the. I want to say this, not the Clásico. This is the biggest game of the season. Albert, give me your 30 seconds on this, man.
30 seconds. I've only got 30 seconds. Listen,
I have to say no,
it's
just to say hi.
the title could be decided tonight. That's how exciting this game is. Obviously, it could make things a lot closer, but that's what's at stake tonight. We had a great little dress rehearsal during the week in the Taça de Portugal. Great game, really interesting to see that ahead of tonight. I think tonight could be a different beast. I think it's going to mean a bit more to both sets of players. So, fascinating game, huge game. Definitely the biggest game of the season so far, and probably for the rest of the season.
Mikey, are you ready for the fight? Are you ready for a title bout fight tonight?
Of course I am. I'm at WrestleMania. Of course I'm ready for a fight. This is it. For Benfica, this is a final. Everything is on the line today. There's no tomorrow. There's no next match. I'm not even worried about the Europa League. It doesn't exist today. Everything comes down to these 90 minutes. They have to pull every card. They have to put out every stop and do everything they can to win today. It's going to be very, very difficult. We're facing a very good team who's playing at home, and they can sense it. But this is it. These are the nights where you can become a legend in a match like this, where somebody can come off the bench or something, do something magical, find the back of the net, and hopefully somebody will be the hero tonight in red.
Yes, sir. Hopefully for heroes, hopefully for magic, hopefully for a fantastic fight. Now, of course, we must go to the records, and the records indicate that the Alvalade, when the Lisbon derby happens, the team in red prevails most of the time. The Sporting Club has to wait 10 long years to beat the Eagles for the first time. And what happened that year? They won the championship. So, Albert, what do you say about that home record for Sporting against Benfica? Is he going to go against them? He's going to be adding more pressure to it?
I think when I was thinking about this game in advance, I was thinking about the last time Sporting won the title. A few years back now, their first title in 19 years. To win that title, they had to overcome a big psychological obstacle, which is beating the other big teams. In this league, Benfica, Sporting Porto, Braga, they can beat the small team. Well, although as we saw earlier tonight, Braga sometimes struggle. But, in general, they can beat the small teams. That's not the difficult bit. League titles are not decided by whether you beat Farenz or Famalicão at home. They're decided when you play Benfica, when you play Porto. So when they won that title a few years ago, that's such a big title, so important for them, they managed to overcome that psychological hurdle, and they won big games in that season. If they're going to do it again, which we know they want to, they're going to have to do it again tonight. And they've had a decent record against big teams this year in the league, although it's not been flawless. I think the game, like I said, that game on Tuesday in the Cup was a really, really interesting game to look at, because it showed that although Sporting had won the first leg, that Benfica were more than a match for them, and really Benfica probably should have won the game on the day. So I've just this game tonight is all about whether, from Sporting's perspective, can the players rise to the challenge of a huge game, because they're fighting for something now, and it's good that they put themselves in that position, perhaps a position that they haven't been in enough for their liking in recent history, but they're in that position, and now they've got to get over that final hurdle.
Mike, speaking of players rising up, who's gonna be singing that song, man? That lady that sings like "And I rise up Yeah, you know that song. You know that song? Oh, you don't know that song. I'm gonna play. Maybe I'm gonna play. I'm gonna over the lyrics, of course, on my broadcast. I got that crazy shit going on. Got all the things lined up for the game. But speaking of players, right? We're talking about Sugar Ray Leonardo starting, being the starter,
Yep.
being the man, the number 9 for
Mhm.
this game, and he's not. It's Casper. They went
No.
with Casper.
Yep.
Are
Mhm.
you happy? Are you content? Are you would you no? I want to put it a different way. The question: would you pick Casper over Marcus Leonardo for this game?
I understand why he did. He wants the press. He doesn't want Sporting playing from the midfield up. He wants to do what he did on Tuesday and play the game in Sporting's end as much as possible. If he's going to do that, it has to be Casper. He's the only player with those characteristics. So that's why he's going with him. I think I would have gone with Marcos Leonardo. I would have taken my chances. But Sporting are so good at breaking down the press. If there's one weak link, even on Wednesday, the couple times they got through, you could watch it, and it was automatic. They knew where to put the ball. It was a quick switch to the far side, and then down their left, they came down our right and left us exposed, with overloads. So I think Roger's gonna try to keep it as much like the last game as possible, and maybe make changes as the game calls for as we progress towards the end of the match. But I think his idea is to start the way he started in the cup game, and hopefully not give up 2 goals this time. But I understand why he's going with Casper. I probably would not have done that, but that's why I'm sitting here and Roger's, on the bench, picking the player. So we have to keep that in mind.
All right, Mikey. Thank you, Mikey. Look at what Matt Channel is saying. Home form has been the biggest thing for me as why for Sporting had done this well. Have they even lost at home this league in the league this season? The answer is no. They're still undefeated. They're running perfect. They haven't allowed anyone to even scratch a point from the Alvalade. Now, having said that, this one goes for Albert. Albert, we were doing this sort of small preview during the Tuca Tuesdays last Tuesday night. By the way, the invitation is open, but you're gonna figure out the schedule to see if we can do a late show so we can get you in. But Mikey said this on Tuesday. We played the best game of the season, and yet we were not able to beat him. Now, in the first 45 minutes, Benfica played fantastic. But guess what? 0 goals from the Eagles. What do you think the Benfica needs to do in order to be over perfect, maybe to beat Sporting?
Well, I think the biggest thing that stood out to me from the 2 sets of lineups when I saw them just now was the Sporting wingback Jenny Katamo starting, who didn't start in the cup.
Right.
And I think it was a really interesting dynamic in the cup game where the first half we had no goals, second half we had 4 goals. Jenny Katamo came on in the second half for Ricardo Esgaio. What does Ricardo Esgaio offer you? Experience and solidity. What does Jenny Katamo offer you? Attacking ability, basically. So the fact that Amorim has started with Katamo, he knows obviously Sporting are going to have to score goals if they're going to win the game. Although a draw would suit Sporting down to the ground, if we're being honest. So that's why I'm quite interested to see that he did start with Jenny, because it shows that they're going to go out to attack the game. Now, in relation to a question, I think what that means is that it's going to be a much more open game than the first half of the Tassa game. So that is where Benfica can take some hope, really, because when the game was more open, they scored 2 goals. Now, obviously, they conceded 2 goals themselves. So that makes things more difficult. But I think a game of a cagey game between 2 defensive teams suits Sporting more. And I do personally think that a more attacking open game probably gives Benfica more of a chance than trying to grind out a 1-0. I think Benfica winning this game 3-2, 4-3, something like that is probably more likely than Benfica winning the game 1-0. So I think that's probably going to, in some ways, play into Benfica's hands.
Now, what I'm saying, I'm gonna put money down for this answer from Mikey, because he would rather get a 1-0 all day long than a 3-3, a 4-4, or something like that. Mikey, are you with me?
Yeah, you got to get the 3 points however you get it. I mean, you can't pick your score line. The match is going to dictate whether it's going to be, like Albert said, wide open or tight. I think the longer it goes, I think as we get, like he said, a draw for Sporting, I think is quite good for them. I think they're going to be in cruise control after that. So the closer we get to the end, if a draw becomes a possibility, I think Ruben's going to make the opposite of what he did on Tuesday, and he's going to solidify his team as the game goes on. And you might see the Ishgayu coming in later. And, you know, it's going to be harder and harder to score if Benfica don't score early. So I think if this one goes into halftime 0-0, I think a 0-0 becomes very, very likely. The goals are going to have to come early if it's going to be wide open, because I think Sporting can just set up shop and you know, get organized, put their lines in. It's going to be hard to break that down once as the game goes on. So there'll be fewer and fewer chances to get you know, the Di Marias or the David Neres or the Rafa Silvas into space as Sporting just kind of closes down and tightens up. It's going to be very hard to break them down as the match goes on. Benfica have to come out and look for that goal early, in my opinion.
Right, Mikey. Now we got one name. Actually, we're gonna go over two names, right? The first time I'm gonna go over with Albert is the return of Pochi to the starting lineup. I think it's massive. It's a massive addition for a key game like it's the one against Benfica. But I don't know if I'm excited to have a player back. But when coming from an injury, I don't know how I mean, if he's 100% or not. I mean, of course he's physically 100% because otherwise they wouldn't start it. But will you think it is an asset or not truly an asset, Pochi back in the 11?
Well, do you know what? I think I agree with you, and it's another example of why I'm a little bit surprised that Amorim seems to be taking risks in this game when I don't think Sporting need to be taking the risks. It's interesting, but he's obviously throwing him back into the lineup because, you know, when he plays well, what he can offer any team. I thought Paulinho and Gyökeres up front were very effective in the Taça de Portugal. I don't think I would necessarily have changed that. I wouldn't have looked at that situation and thought we really need to change this at the next opportunity, and I'm going to put Pedro Gonçalves in as soon as he's available. Personally, I would have thought that, but I think Ruben Amorim is just looking at this game thinking it's a big game against a great opponent. I want to put the best players on the field that I have available to me. So perhaps in that sense, he's kind of taking the complexity out of it, taking the overthinking out of it, and just thinking, let me put my best 11 on the field against a great team and see what happens. But, you know, we keep saying the same things, but certainly for Amorim and for Sporting, they can maybe take those risks because of the nature of the way the league is at the moment and the fact that this game isn't a must-win for them. But, you know, my logic would have been to then be more conservative. It seems Ruben Amorim's response to that is actually to just kind of go, well, I'll put the team out and see what happens and trust the players, you know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, decisions. Now, speaking of decisions, Mikey, I know this one is not about your team, but about the rivals. And it is the situation, the current situation of Ruben Amorim, that he said something today that kind of threw me off a little bit, because he said, I cannot guarantee I will stay like Xavi did, right, for Xavi Alonso in Leverkusen. I cannot say that. I was like, really? You're gonna say this now? But then there's the next part of that quote is like, I'm focused on winning. But he already said that I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna stay. I cannot say that I'm gonna stay. I think that takes an ounce of his mind on a game where you should have not only 100% of your mind in there, but 150% of your mind. Do you think that it's taking off a little bit? And
I think he's trying to. I think he's just trying to make that question go away, to be honest, because as Derek says, he gets asked that after every single match. It's like you can count on the first question being about next season and where he's going to go. And I'm sure it's getting irritating at this point for him. And, you know, anyone who's a professional can't come out. They don't want to come out and say, oh, I'm going to stay here when they know that that's not likely. They don't want to look like a hypocrite. So he kind of, I think, just wants it to go away by I don't know if he picked the best words. I didn't see the quote word for word, but he's trying to say, let's focus on this right here, right now, and worry about next year when we get there. But it is interesting. I don't know, and the press and the fans are going to react how they're going to react, and you never really know how they're going to react. They can read into things, and I think if something goes wrong today, you're going to see that quote probably turned against him. If it goes well for them and they come out with the 3 points, they're going to be like, see, he's focused. He's a professional. He's not worried about next year.
Right.
And I think the result's going to dictate ultimately how he's judged on that quote.
I know. And also, guys, listen, I got 4 minutes to go on there, so we're gonna go now because Matt Shannon is asking actually also when should I go with my predictions? Well, we're gonna go to predictions right now, Matt. Okay, now you led us to this. Albert, give me your prediction. Give me your score for tonight.
I think it will be a score draw. Both teams will score. Do you know what? I'm going to go exactly the same as Tuesday night. I think it'll be 2-2 again.
2-2. All right. Mikey.
I said on Tuesday that I think I said that I thought it was going to be 1-1. I still think it's going to be 1-1. I think we're going to come up just short. I think Benfica may even score first, and then Sporting will draw late. Or perhaps Sporting score early and Benfica draw. They can pull level but run out of time to get the winner. I'm not overly confident. I'm hopeful, but I'm not confident. So a 1-1 draw, and then we have 6 weeks to go, and both teams will watch the scoreboard, wait for the other to slip up.
All right, now you know me. I'm bold with my predictions.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go for it. For the team that I predicted was going to win the championship this year. He's like, I thought you were blocking me.
I was changing the volume. Sorry.
He was
putting up the volume.
It's like, I know it's coming.
No.
I know what's coming. And all right.
You've been consistent all season, Nino. I give you credit.
I said 3-1 on Tuesday. I'm going to repeat that again. I said 3-1 for Sporting today because if you want to win a championship, you got to win at El Valade against Benfica. And that's it, guys. Now, we got to go because I got to set all this up here. Wonderful game. Guys, thank you for coming in. We'll see you next time.
Nino.
Bye-bye.
See you soon, guys.
All right. Bye. Enjoy.
Thanks, guys.